Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Courtside with Coach Crist show. I'm Greg Crist, along with my co-host, Dave Gorby, coming to you live tonight out on Gatewood Road from McGuffin's Mystery Hole. And we've got a good show lined up for you tonight. We hope everybody will like and subscribe on YouTube for us. That helps us a lot. Give us a thumbs up. If we're on Facebook, we had a little trouble getting on Facebook, so you may have to search around a little bit. I think we're fixed now, so make sure you like us, comment, whatever you'd like to do on there. We appreciate it so much. Got a good show for you tonight. We've been off for a week. Darren been under the knife a little bit, and we'll talk about that a little bit more probably before the show is over. But he is back in recovery now, and we're doing the show from here for now. We'll be back out on the road here in a few weeks. I'm sure going somewhere new and fancy. But what we like to do at the beginning of each and every show is we like to go out to our One Eye in the Sky, our Chopper One NRN traffic and weatherman, and his co-host, Misty Rain's Muggy McLeod. Muggy, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good evening, Coach. This is Muggy McLeod and my floor installing side pilot, Misty Rains, with your One Eye in the Sky NRN Chopper One traffic and weather report. Misty and I are flying over Boston tonight because of the first game of the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
This begins the quest of a West Virginia fan favorite, Joe Mazzulla.
Yes, sir.
And as you both are aware, if Coach Mazzulla wins, of course, it's because he has great players.
Right.
If he loses, well, then it's probably his fault for being an idiot.
Yep.
Anyway, the proverbial no-win situation for Coach Mazzulla, but we will be here to support him no matter what.
All right.
Okay, Coach, as the crowd begins to gather, a line of fans are at the intersection of Voss and Deference. These streets are located near the garden, and there's a chant that has begun. Wait a minute. Misty, lower us down so I can hear it, Misty. Okay, Coach, they're chanting, nuts and bolts, we love you. Oh, how nice, Coach. Even the Bostonians love Motor.
That's great.
Anyway, thought I was going somewhere else with that. Anyway, as we fly over toward the new garden, that has no vegetables, ironically, we see traffic backed up at Sproul Boulevard, waiting on an officer on horseback to remove a barrier so that no kids can get through. Oh, so the kids can get through. Wait a minute. But anyway, with much anticipation, though, the floodgates have opened and in pour the thousands of seedlings through the curtains and into the front opening of the arena.
Awesome.
Okay, Coach, as we continue our flyover of the area, we are looking down on the famous Anthony's Pizza. It's on Gord Street.
Nice.
Here. Yes, and it is home of their famous giant meatballs and biscotti noodles. Rumor has it the owners also own Benny's Auto Sport around the block. I don't know why that matters. Maybe they use the leftover grease from pasta night for their engines. Who knows?
Who knows?
Anyway, Coach. On to the weather, brought to you by Anthony's Pizza, where by mentioning this ad, you'll get a free kid when you order a set of new meatballs.
Not a bad deal.
No, it's raining here, of course, so let's go on to the weather.
All right.
Which is rainy with tornadoes in West Virginia, so it's crappy and going to get crappier over the weekend.
Of course.
So global warming, my butt, Coach.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Well, you guys be safe out there, and we will talk to you soon. Muggy McLeod, Misty Rains flying over Boston with your Chopper One NRN, One Eye in the Sky weather and traffic report. Over and out.
Over and out, Muggy. We'll talk to you soon. Be safe.
Yes, sir, Coach.
All right, Muggy McLeod and Misty Rains coming to us from Boston tonight, and that leads us right into our Hell Yeah, Hell No segment. Gorb, I know you're prepared for that, as always.
Absolutely. I am.
I got a couple Hell Yells, and we'll probably going to have at least one of the same ones on the Hell Yells. My first Hell Yells, WVU's baseball team made the Super Regionals.
Yeah.
Won the regional tournament and advanced to the Super Regionals, where they'll play tomorrow night against North Carolina. And we're all behind the Mountaineer baseball squad. And they have actually, let me turn that noise down. They actually have been playing pretty well since the Big 12 tournament ended. They got out of that wreck, and played really good in that regional and come through and won it fairly easily.
Yeah, they got that first dub in the regional, and that pitcher had like a 1.5 ERA.
Yep.
And, we kind of threw our ace at them, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Because they weren't they like 23 or 24th in rankings or something like that?
Yep. Both Dallas Baptist and Grand Canyon both are good baseball teams and historically good. And they were tough. And our pitching was superb. And if we have pitching like that against North Carolina, we might be able to pull out 2 out of 3. Of course, I've been reading up on it some. They've only lost 3 home games all year. So
they're number 3 in the nation.
Yes,
so.
yes, they are. And that is a little scary playing on their home. But, I don't know that home field matters that much in baseball anymore like it used to. Seems like even the pros, basketball, home field don't matter. Football don't matter. Now, in college it does. And so I don't know in baseball what – I'm not sure
it's
what,
college.
Yeah, it's college. I don't know what the advantage is, but I guess there must be something. But I think there'll be a nice contingent of WVU fans down there, and probably won't seem like a total away game, not half an away game. So maybe we'll play good. Looking forward to that. That's Friday night, 6 o'clock, I think, on ESPN. Is it 2 or ESPN regular? I'm not sure.
I'm not even sure.
I don't think it's on Plus. I think it's on ESPN or ESPN2, where you can actually watch it even if you don't have one of the that subscriptions you got to have. So that's Friday night at 6. Looking forward to that. So that's for my first hell yeah. My second hell yeah, Muggy McLeod even mentioned it, and he's up in Boston. Second hell yeah is Joe Mazzulla and the Boston Celtics tip off the NBA championship game starting tonight. So congratulations to Joe and the Celtics. Of course, I'm a Celtics fan, so I'm happy about that, but I'm more happy about the fact that Joe Mazzulla has an opportunity to win an NBA championship. And like Muggy said, if they win it, it's because he had good players. If they lose, it's because he don't know how to coach. That's those Boston fans. They have been horrendous. Have always followed all these sites, and I just get on there and read. I don't say a whole lot, but I did break down and say something not too long ago when somebody said something about if they lose in the conference finals that he needs to be fired and he needs to go and all this. And I said, there's probably 30 other teams out there that would gladly take him in a minute. Right. So be careful what you wish for. But I know he don't pay any attention to that. He don't care. He probably thrives on that kind of stuff. But just knowing him and his personality, it's just ammunition for him. You got hell yells?
Yeah, first one. Got to go with the Big Easy. Getting his 4th win on Champions Tour there last week in Iowa.
Hell, I know it was going to be golf.
In the Principal Charity Classic. Yeah. That's my man.
Big Easy's good. Well, I like to watch him.
That's my man.
I was always a fan of his when he played. Yeah, I like watching him.
That's my man. And the second hell yeah. We're going to stick with golf again. Okay, so I don't know if you like golf YouTubers have been getting big just in the past handful of years.
Yep.
And we had 2 golf YouTubers hit some feats recently. Trent Ryan, that was on the Foreplay Pod, Barstool people, finally broke 90.
Awesome.
And it's been like a whole series of him trying to break 90. Like he went to Kevin Kisner's, he's had Kevin Kisner's coach work with him and all that, and finally broke 90.
What are they going to do on the show now?
I don't know. They said when they were doing the podcast this week that they're going to put he had to get up and down on 18 he was sitting on 8. He needed a par to shoot 89. Well, he got up and down for a birdie, and apparently from where the chip shot was pretty. It was 1 of a million shot. Wow. And so they said they're going to put a plaque out there where he chipped that ball at. The second one, and I know this is tough because in my 32 years of playing, I've never done it.
Yeah.
Bobby Fairways on Bob Does Sports, this video just came out today, had a hole-in-one, and you should have seen the celebration.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah. I played golf for 40 years, never had a hole-in-one. Came close a couple times, but never did have one. So, yeah, it is rare. I'll give a shout-out there to Kelly McCourt. He's tuned in tonight. Let us know he's watching, so we appreciate him. He's a –
what was it?
I don't know what that is. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just keep talking. That's must be Coach Osborne. I accidentally tuned in. It sounded like.
Oh, okay.
She said they can see you.
Okay. So, I was like, what in the world?
We'll get him on. He's getting a little anxious here.
Mm-hmm. Well, you told him a time. We got to go.
Yeah. So Hell Nalls. Let's go ahead and look at our Hell Nalls. My first Hell Nall, Gorb, I read this story. I saw it on Facebook, and then I just checked it out to see if it was true or not. Did some further research. There is something called a Joro spider. It is a giant.
Is that the thing? Yes, I've seen it all over Facebook this week.
Yeah, giant venomous flying spider with 4-inch legs coming into North America. It's already been in South America. Now it's going to be in North America.
Apparently, it's been like in Georgia the past couple of years. And
Now it's coming here. And
I'm telling you, I love that. I'm starting to get into hiking, and I guarantee I'm going to come up on a bad boy like that.
First time I see a 4-inch legged spider flying through the air at me, I'm done. I'm done. I can't even stand and look at him on the floor crawling around. I don't know what I'll do if I see one flying at me. So just go ahead and kill me now. If you see one flying, Gorb, just take me out. Coming our way. So that's my first Hell Nall. My second one is, this one came across yesterday to me, and I'm like, what is wrong with us? There is now an electric salt spoon. It works. You press a weak electric current through the tip of the device to concentrate sodium on molecules on your tongue. So when you eat, you don't have to put salt on your food. The spoon automatically puts it
I'm good. I'm good.
And I'm like, hell no.
I want the doc to get mad at me because I put too much salt on my food. I want the doc to yell at me.
That's right. I like to take that salt shaker and work it over. Heck with the spoon. It tastes like salt.
Oh, man.
On the spoon. Anyway, so that's my second Hell No. That was my two today. Didn't really have anything to do with sports, but I thought,
I don't.
What's wrong with us?
Well, I'm going to co-sign those two.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Those two are good enough for anybody to take anyway. So, all right, we had of course it sounded like Coach Osborne was trying to tune in tonight. I don't know if I even said who we have tonight. Legendary basketball coach throughout the state of West Virginia and the surrounding states. One of the best, if not the best. Obviously one of the best known and one of the kindest people you ever want to meet, and that is Coach Alan Osborne from Poca. Just announced his retirement, so we are thrilled to have Coach Osborne on with us here in just a few minutes. We'll take a break, get him hooked up here, and get him situated, and then we'll talk to him about his retirement so far and how he thinks he's going to like it. And I might even, of course, I didn't coach as long as he did. I only did it. I think mine was 28 years, I think is what I did. He did 44, so hats off. And I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit about him here before we get him on. That way I don't have to take up his time listening to his accolades. He started years and years ago, and, he's from Greenbrier County, Rainelle, and went to school there. He started coaching. I'm not sure the year. I'll have to ask him in Poca. He's won over 700 games, which is unbelievable. And 3 state championships, which is, the pinnacle, the top of the ladder. He's done that 3 times. Most recently, I think, was 2022, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, again, one of the most well-respected high school basketball coaches in the state, and it's going to be a fun time talking to him. We're looking forward to it. So I hope everybody will stay tuned in with us. We'll have, I think, a minute or two at the end for audience callers. We usually get at least one. I think we do have an audience caller that's already here and on hold, so we'll get him on as well toward the end of the show after we interview Coach Osborne, because we want to give him all the time that he would like to take with us, and we don't want to force him into time, but we'll take the time. So I hope you'll stay with us here on the New River Network. You're watching the Courtside with Coach Crist show. We'll come back here in just a moment with former Poca High School basketball coach Alan Osborne. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back.
Retro Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. See hard-hitting wrestling action from today's rising stars in independent wrestling. If you are a wrestling fan of any generation, let us introduce you to the hottest wrestling promotion in West Virginia. You can also join a live show at the Crossroads Mall. Retro Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. Retro Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. See hard-hitting wrestling action from today's rising stars in independent wrestling. If you are a wrestling fan of any generation, let us introduce you to the hottest wrestling promotion in West Virginia. You can also join a live show at the Crossroads Mall. Retro Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. See hard-hitting wrestling action from today's rising stars in independent wrestling. If you are a wrestling fan of any generation, let us introduce you to the hottest wrestling promotion in West Virginia. You can also join a live show at the Crossroads Mall. Retro Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. See hard-hitting wrestling action from today's rising stars in independent wrestling. If you are a wrestling fan of any generation, let us introduce you to the hottest wrestling promotion in West Virginia. You can also join a live show at the Crossroads Mall. Retro Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. See hard-hitting wrestling action from today's rising stars in independent wrestling. If you are a wrestling fan of any generation, let us introduce you to the hottest wrestling promotion in West Virginia. You can also join a live show at the Crossroads Mall. Retro Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. See hard-hitting wrestling action from today's rising stars in independent wrestling. If you are a wrestling fan of any generation, let us introduce you to the hottest wrestling promotion in West Virginia. You can also join a live show at the Crossroads Mall. Retro Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network.
Welcome back to the Courtside with Coach Crist show. We apologize for the delay. We're trying to get some technology working right here. We're not having a whole lot of luck, but we are fortunate enough to still have the handy phone right here by our side, so we're able to connect with Coach Alan Osborne on the phone. And as we said earlier, one of the most prolific basketball coaches, high school basketball coaches in the state of West Virginia. I've known him, watched him for years. Always had great teams, won 3 state championships, over 700 games, which speaks for itself. But what speaks more for itself, I think, is the longevity, 44 years at this, and that just amazes me. But anyhow, with all that being said, we'd like to welcome Coach Alan Osborne. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for those kind words.
Well, you are very welcome, and we appreciate you taking some time to be on with us. You just announced that you're throwing in the towel. You're giving it up after 44 years, lifelong, very illustrious career that you had. So far, I'm going to ask it. I know a lot of people think, well, the season ended not too long ago, and it's summertime now. Why would he be missing it now? But people don't understand anymore that it's a year-round thing. And I'm guessing if you were still coaching, you'd probably be at a camp somewhere right now or in the open gym or somewhere. So far, how's this retirement thing setting in with you?
Well, I don't know. It's definitely a change of lifestyle. But no, you're right. It was a year-round thing. And I'm going to go on vacation for the first time in 18 years here in a couple of weeks.
Awesome.
And but no, it's different. But it's time to go, and I'm going to miss it. I know that. You don't do things for 44 years.
Right.
You get addicted to it, as you well know, and get addicted to being around the kids and everyone involved. So it's. But I'm going to try to enjoy it and do things and just see what happens here. And the Lord's blessed us, and very thankful for the opportunities I've had and people I've met, and like yourself and other people down the road, the coaches, and it's been good.
Yep. Well, I always said, people. I think I last coached in 2012. A lot of people ask me all the time still, do you miss it? And my honest answer is I miss parts of it, and those parts included the camaraderie with the coaches, the relationships with the players, the summertime, the camps, the clinics, and the open gyms. I miss all that. I don't particularly miss the games, but I miss the rest of it. and go ahead. I've gotten used to even not the games anymore. I don't miss that now. So I don't miss any of it really.
But the practices and watching the kids develop and grow up and get better. And that was the fun part. People in the wins and losses, everybody forgets about those.
Yep.
But the relationships you build and with, like I say, the coaches and your teams and even some officials.
Yep.
But it's like I say, I don't have any regrets. Just like I say, I'm very thankful and appreciate it. Got the opportunity to coach a lot of great kids and blessed with some good teams, and been very fortunate. So just thankful.
Yep, and the longer you're away from it, the better you'll get along with those officials too. I found that I have much more association with them now than what I ever did before. They actually speak to me now, so that'll get better as well. You, we all know. A lot of people may not know that you are from Greenbrier County, right here close by, and come up in Rainelle. I think I read and. We, I've often wondered, and I know the one time that I coached against you, I believe we played down at Poca one time, and that was in the early 2000s, and you talked to me about being from Rainelle and that sort of thing. Tell us a little bit about what got you involved in coaching, how that all started, and then just kind of walk us through the rest of the history.
Well, I grew up in Rainelle. I was in the last graduating class before they consolidated in the Greenbrier West. And had a great time there. Didn't know how good it was until you get older, but it was a blessing to grow up in that community. And sports was a huge part of Rainelle. We football and basketball, and I was very fortunate to play for a couple of really good coaches, Bob Zopp and Howard Hilton.
Oh yeah,
and they influenced my life, and got into coaching. Went to Morris Harvey and played 1 year there. I wasn't a very good player, but Coach McFessel tolerated me for a year. He had an influence on me, and got out of Morris Harvey, and then I actually started at Winfield as a junior high coach, and coached there 3 or 4 years, and had a head coach there by the name of Dave Wall, who was an excellent coach.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the opportunity to go to Poca as an assistant, and I went there, and Jim D'Agostino was the head coach. He had some really good teams.
Yep.
And so I stayed there 48 years and head coach 44. So
wow.
That's about it. And had a lot of good memories. Worked with a lot of good people, and like I say, had a chance to coach some really, really good players. We had, I think, 11 Division I kids, and had the only player to ever make All-State 4 years, Timmy D'Agostino.
Yep.
Just had, blessed with some really good players and good kids. The community was, always good, and welcoming him and supported us, and a lot of good things.
Well, I have to ask you this, since you are from Raynell. There's been a few questions that's been sent to us about you and another coach by the name of Ed McCall. Were you in school with Ed McCall? I mean, he is, he's a legend in his own mind, and been a basketball coach for a long time. I hope he's listening.
Eddie and I are good friends. We graduated together.
Okay.
And we still stay in contact. But yeah, he's a good coach. I consider him one of my best friends.
Yeah.
He's good. And he was the quarterback, and I was in the end on the football team, and he was a special guy. He really helped me out in high school, and but yeah, I know Ed. Ed's a good person.
Yep.
We were up. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you a story about Ed McCall. Ed McCall, like I say, was the quarterback, and so we're playing Anstead.
Which is where I'm from.
And so we're up there, and DeLine played, a big kid named DeLine, and it was their homecoming game. Well, they canceled the game on Friday night because it was raining and moved to the Saturday. So McCall, he had a date, and he was upset about that. And so we ended up fortunately beating them, but we got down there at the end of the game, and we broke the huddle and got up on the line of scrimmage, and he got up like he was going to call the signals, and he said, "Hey, boys, how's the dance going to be tonight?" And boys, they laid also. They knocked us. That's Lyman. But he was a great guy. He was a lot of fun, and he was, like I say, he was a good coach. And we talk every once in a while.
I always thought intellectually he was one of the smartest guys I ever talked to. Really a bright person. Of course, we had a little bit of a rocky relationship to begin with, but it got a lot better as the years went on. But we had a little incident in a sectional tournament one time. Didn't go too well, so we butted heads a little bit over that. But since that time, we've become really good friends, and he's been on the show a couple times, and he did a good job, and he was, like I said, a smart guy. Just a smart and funny.
Yeah.
Just a funny guy.
Yes.
Always comic.
He's a golfer now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's, I can remember going over to Raynell when I first started teaching and coaching and play golf, and he was over there every time I went. He was there. He's a good golfer.
Oh, yeah. He's a good golfer.
I wanted to ask you, you won a few state championships. You lost one or two in the finals. Is it more enjoyable or satisfying? I mean, I know it's better to win a state championship, or to feel the sting of losing a state championship that you think you might have should have won.
Well, I tell you, the first state championship we won was in '97. We beat Bluefield, and I never will forget. After all the stuff's done, and you're leaving the Civic Center where you hadn't even got back out on the floor in the hallway back there. And we had 4 starters back. And everybody was talking about winning next year, so we didn't have time to enjoy that one. And we got a state tournament next year and got beat. But, it's hard losing them. We lost 3 of them.
Yeah.
And we lost to Wyoming East in a couple overtimes, and they were really good. That's when they had Kent McBride and those guys.
Yep, remember that.
And then we lost to Williamstown in 21. We thought we should have won that game, but we just played awful, and it was my fault. And next year we come back and won at those kids. But that's a good question. It's always good to win them, but it's hard to get there. It's hard to win them. You got to be good. You got to be lucky. And to be able to do the things that we were able to do is, like I said, I feel very fortunate and lucky and thankful. But it's great getting there. It's great winning one.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Never got to feel that emotion, but I'm sure it is.
Shoot, I've never even won a game on a court. So
we made it to the semifinals once, but we were talking to Josh Eilert last night on a show I do up in Morgantown, and he was talking about, losing the game and how hard it was on him, thinking back of things he could do better and that sort of thing. And I told him, I said, trust me. I said, there are going to be, there's going to be things that stick in your mind the rest of your life. I said, I quit in 2012, made the state tournament, got beaten in the semifinals. And I said, I still replay a lot of that in my mind, thinking about things you could have done different and things you could have done better. And I said, that never goes away. I said, so he's 17 years in. I said, you better get used to it because you got a ways to go. And you go have a lot of those, you have a lot of those times when you think, man, what could I have done different? That happens a lot.
Yeah, that's good advice. But you always go back and games you lost. That's the thing about coaching is you really know. When you win, you just get back and get ready for next. When you lose, you sit there and stew over it for about 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
It's hard, but no, it's like I say. But when it's all said and done, the kids, it's just great to be in there. They keep you young and very blessed to coach a lot of kids I got to coach. So.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you. I know people don't like to do this, naming people, but you coached a ton of really, really good basketball players. You mentioned 11 Division I players. Won't you mention some of the people, in case people don't know, that you did coach down there that went on and played, different levels and were really good players. A lot of people that may not follow it may not know that, and I know you hate to do that because you probably leave somebody out, but we'll do our best.
I'll try to think. Of course, we got Isaac McNeely, who's down in Virginia right now.
Yep.
He's having a pretty good career.
Yep.
Then Timmy Lyle, who played on our 97 state championship team, he went to not Eastern, but James Madison started down there for 4 years. And Ricky Cottrell, he went to Eastern Michigan and started 4 years. Elijah Cuffey. Elijah went to Liberty, and he started for 4 years, and he was a Defensive Player of the Year twice in that league.
Yep.
His brother Jason, who's passed away, went to he signed and went to Wright State, and then he transferred to Cedarville. Timmy D'Agostine, he went to he started at the University of Charleston, then he transferred to Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, I'm trying to think now. I think it's 7. I'm trying to think of the other 4.
Yeah, I should have put you on the spot. Like I should at least give you a heads up on that because it's hard to remember. I know.
Yeah, but Luke Frampton.
Yep.
Can't forget
Frampton.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
I forgot about that dude.
Yeah, Luke went to Davidson, and then he transferred and played at Western Kentucky.
Yep.
Luke, he got injured his freshman year and had an ACL injury. And then he come back and played the next year. And a lot of people don't know this, but he broke Steph Curry's 3-point field goal record at Davidson his freshman year.
Wow, his freshman year. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and then
he was a player. I know that.
Yeah, Noah, his brother, went to Marshall and played.
Yep.
And he tore his shoulder up a couple of times, and he just gave it up. But like I said, we've been really blessed. We had kids go in the conference, but the big thing is just we've had guys that graduated and become doctors and dentists and lawyers, guys who own their own business. I got 2 players who, Jamie Gibbo, who's vice president of Enterprise.
Wow.
And another kid, Paul Stone, who's a CEO with Hertz. And so, those type of kids, you just don't get a coach all the time, be around, and you remember those guys. And it's just a lot of fun to watch them develop as young men and grow up and go on and be successful.
Yep. That's one of the fun things about doing it is you get to see them, and not necessarily sports, but you see them grow up as men and what they become, and that's always gratifying. I know. Again, you won 3 state championships, and everybody wants to know what's the most memorable game you were ever involved in.
Wow, that's a tough question here. We had the state tournament the year Isaac that shot at the buzzer to beat Charleston Catholic.
Yep.
It was a memorable game.
Yep. And we all remember that one, and we're all so thankful for that.
and we lost to Wyoming East. They were undefeated in Coach Reeves' last year. We were up and had a chance to beat them and had a foul, off the ball foul. I remember that pretty good.
Yeah.
But no, we had some great games with Winfield, and it's hard to say 44 years. But,
yeah, a lot of games.
Remember your first game you won? We beat Hammond. We was in the conference, and we beat Hammond when they were in our conference. But no, a lot of exciting games, a lot of good, like I say, a lot of good times.
Yeah, and 44 years, that's a lot of games. And I know you already mentioned this, but, you do, I think, reach a point as you get older in coaching that, you understand that those wins and losses, are not the most important thing. And it's a whole lot easier, I think, to coach once you get that in your mind. And I remember telling my wife one time I was a head coach at Mount Hope High School, and sometimes would act like a maniac and an idiot on the sidelines. And I told her one night, I said, if I can't calm down and enjoy this, I'm quitting. And that was only 5 or 6 years in as a head coach. And so I did. I took, I decided I'm not going to do
Coach,
this.
I've never seen you head by a speaker on the sideline. Never seen that.
Yeah, I was pretty stupid when I was young.
We played Mount Hope one year. We played Mount Hope and hit Earl Jones.
Yeah.
That was a memorable game. They beat us. They beat us up at West Virginia Tech in the regionals.
Yeah. Yeah, that was probably my time. I was in high school at that time. I remember we played against Earl. He was something else. I'll tell you. He was not just tall, but he was a good basketball player too. And,
he brought the ball up a court.
Yeah,
and we would trap him. He'd throw it away, and then get back and get it.
Yep.
he was a really good passer, but we were up there, and they sold the place out.
Uh-huh.
And Coach Bicey, we called him and asked him if he was going to have pre-sale tickets. He said, "No, we'll be fine." Well, they were backed up to the bridge there in Montgomery trying to get into that place.
I guarantee you. Yep.
Yeah, but that was I can remember that game, and I remember him. And
yeah, he was something else. I tell you. I actually played against him when I was in middle school. I think I told this story to somebody before. I'll never forget. We practiced with tennis rackets all week, and I remember I got the ball about the foul line right on the elbow, and he was in front of me, and he come running at me, and I ball faked him, and he went flying by me, and I was like, heck yeah, I went to shoot that thing, and he swatted it, and it must have went 10 rows up in the bleachers before it stopped going. That was my dealings with him. So it wasn't unusual for it to happen.
He swatted a few against us too. Matter of fact, I can remember now. We were down one, had the ball about 5 seconds left underneath the basket, and tried to inbound it. We threw it away. We didn't even get it inbounds, but yeah, he was a good player, and he had some kids around him who were pretty good.
Oh yeah,
too, Matty Watts and those guys. So that was a good team.
Yeah, they had some good basketball players over there. That's for sure. You have given it up now, so I know you said you're going on vacation, but I want to ask you about what you're planning on doing now. Are you going to be involved in any way, with summertime or anything like that? Just keep your hand in it, or are you just going to go clear away?
Well, I don't want to go clear away. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll be honest with you. I don't golf. I don't fish. I don't hunt. So I'm kind of in a limbo here. I've been planting flowers. And
oh gosh.
mulching.
Yeah, you better learn how to golf or something. Come on now.
Yeah, and then I read a lot, but I don't know. That's my problem. I don't have any hobbies. That was my hobby. That was my hobby in life. And
yep.
I went 3 places. I went to church, my house, and the gym.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to find somewhere else to go now.
Yeah. And when you do it that long, you don't have time to do other things. I know.
But I don't know. I'm not going to not coaching again. But I probably won't. It's just I can't see being a head coach again. But it may help somebody, or maybe start working with the kids individually or something like that. I really haven't thought about it much.
Right.
Just,
well,
day at a time here.
Yeah, I know one thing I always said after I quit was, how do I have time to get any of this other stuff done that I'm doing nonstop? Now, it seemed like I had less time after I quit and what I did while I was still coaching. But I think you just get so wrapped up in it. That's just your life. That's just the way it is, and you don't expect to be home until 7, 8 o'clock in the evenings during school year time, and you expect to be going in the summer to camps and stuff like that. It just becomes a way of life, and that's why I say, looking at your history with 44 years, that's it just amazes me. I just can't imagine, and hats off to you for that. That is awesome. I want to ask you another thing too. If you had any advice for younger guys wanting to get into the coaching ranks or come up and do this coaching thing, what kind of advice would you give them?
Wow. First thing, you better surround yourself with good people. Assistants, and have good people around you. And, you got to have support from your administration and your parents and everyone if you want to have successful programs. So that's the biggest thing. Make sure you go into a coaching situation where you got support, because you're going to need it.
Yep.
And then get you philosophy and be who you are. Don't be who you ain't.
Right.
What you ain't what you is. So,
that's right.
but just be yourself and surround yourself with good people.
Yeah.
And
when you look at like what's going on now in college basketball, for example, with this new lawsuit that just got settled, the NIL thing out of control, and all this collective bargaining getting ready to come. Do you see that? Because I do. Do you see that filtering down into the high schools before too much longer?
Yeah. I was talking to David Price, SEC executive director, a couple months ago. There, he said it's already started in some states.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I can see it going on. I mean, it's going on a little bit around here in West Virginia, especially down there. We got guys.
Yeah.
Brought over and put them in houses, and
yeah.
I mean, they're not giving them money, but they're, those type of things. But no, I hope it never happens, because it's just basically almost ruined college basketball and college football, and there's no loyalty, and it's just scary stuff at the portal. And of course, we've got it in West Virginia. You just go where you want to go.
Yep.
If you're in an area down here like we were and are, it's really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, being at a high school, had 17 kids on our football team had transferred.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've lost a couple, and it's just it's not what I grew up with. I mean.
Right.
When I went to Rainelle, somebody said, "You want to go to Meadowbridge?" I said, "I ain't going to Meadowbridge."
Yeah, why would I do that? Yeah. Yeah, it has changed. Yeah, and I said I wouldn't want to be a coach now. Like you said, with the portal thing opened up here, like it is basically. And I was, of course, a public high school single A coach, so we had to play the Charleston Catholics and Greater Beckleys and people like that. And to us, it always felt like an unlevel playing field. I said obviously they can recruit kids because they have to do that for their school to stay open. They got to recruit kids. I said, it's just coincidence that 6 or 7 of them were damn good basketball players. I said, just the way it happened. Yeah. But I said, you see that now everywhere. It's starting to open up now.
But no, I just don't understand it. But these people are, they're recruiting. It's become a big thing down here in this area. It's not good. The part of athletics is teaching kids, hard work, commitment, dedication, and if they don't get enough playing time, they just pull up and go home or go somewhere else.
Go somewhere else, yeah.
And instead of learning a lesson and fighting through adversity and teaching life lessons, they just go.
Yeah. Take the easy way out.
But it's different now, and I just don't think it's good. And then they're trying to get this thing where you can play sports and play travel ball at the same time.
Right.
It's just asinine, and I don't know. The legislature's really overstepped their boundaries, I think,
Well, I always said, you got people making decisions about things that they have no idea, about, and or never been involved in it. They just hear from, one of their buddies, and then they make decisions based on what they hear or what they think, and they never get any input from the people who know, and that's your coaches and your ads, and that's the sad part, and that's why I think we have some of this stuff coming up, and I think it's going to get worse. I hate that it is. I hope it doesn't, but I think it's going to.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. They're making decisions on something that's happened to them personally, and they're forgetting about the big picture.
Right.
But no, you're right. They need to get advice from people that's been there and done that, been in the trenches, but it's scary. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same way in education in this state. I mean, they make these decisions all the time that affect your education, and they don't have a clue what needs to be done to fix things, and they never ask teachers and principals. They just they come up with these ideas, and pretty unsuccessful for the most part. So I hope, again, them getting involved is worrisome, because I think we're going to see some bad things coming down the road, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm glad I'm not in it anymore, because I'm too old and old school to fight the system, and I think the system's going to be tough here before long.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's like my basketball team this year. I only had 2 kids on my basketball team that had mom and dad in the house.
Yeah.
And it's a different world we're living in, and it's these kids need help, and they don't need to be jerked around, and they need need structure, need discipline, and they need that stuff, and they need they want boundaries.
Yeah.
And
and you can't really depend on somebody who's looking out for their own best interest to look out for the kids' best interest, and I think that happens a lot when they start transferring around and doing different things. That's not always in their best interest, but I think it's in somebody else's best interest that's convincing them to do that.
Oh yeah, you're getting that in college right now, big time, with these agents and stuff.
Yep.
I've got a buddy, he's a friend. He played for me at Winfield. His name's Bobby Starkey. He's associate head coach for the LSU's women's program.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling me they were recruiting a girl out of the portal. And she was from Villanova, and they called up, and her agent answered the phone and said it'll cost you $10,000 to talk to her.
Yep. Yep.
So Bobby says, I'll have to run that through Coach Mulkey. So he goes in and tells Coach Mulkey. Coach Mulkey says, give me that agent's number. And I'm not going to say what she said, but you can imagine. She said she called the agent up and said, I'd love to give you that $10,000 just so I could tell her to kiss my butt. But you can give her a message. We're not recruiting her anymore. So that's the stuff these college coaches are going through right now.
Yeah. Well, my son, he's coaching college basketball down in Pikeville, and they don't have it quite as bad, but they've had to face some of that. How much can we get? How much money go give us, and that sort of thing. And so it's a different world right now. That's usually the first question they ask: how much am I going to get? And
that's Greg White used to coach at Marshall. He was telling me he talked to Dana Altman out of Oregon, and it's what Dana told him. Says so when you call a kid now, it's not how's your family, how's things going. You got to get an agent. You got how much can you give him? How much can, and that's how it starts out now.
Yep.
It's unfortunate.
Yep, it is sad. Like I said, I see that starting to filter down into the high school ranks. I hope it doesn't, but I'm afraid it's going to, and I hope that the powers that be have enough sense to make sure it's if they are going to do it, do it right, and not turn into a free for all like it is in college right now, because that's all it is. Right, it's just out of control now, and not a good situation, that's for sure. And like you said, it's messing up the game. And discussion on the radio I was listening to today was about the fact that they didn't get to keep players and develop them and turn them into much better players, because if they couldn't come in and get paid and play right off the bat, they went somewhere else. And I said that'd be a tough environment to coach in, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, college coaches have got tough jobs. I know I was talking to Coach Bennett down in Virginia, and that's his philosophy was just get good guys in there and develop them and build a program, build a team. And they had 2 kids leave this past year that told them they were staying and really put them in a bind in the post.
Yep.
So it's just
Did you ever have any offers to coach college?
Well, I coached 1 year at Charleston.
Okay.
With Dwayne. Yeah, Jim Boone he's at Greensboro College now. He's tried to get me to go with him a couple of times, but I'm happy where I'm at. I don't want to, don't want to deal with that. I helped Dwayne there for 1 year. That was a good experience.
Oh, yeah.
Well, your son helped Dwayne there for a year,
yep.
didn't he?
He helped him for a year. Yep.
Yeah, I think I came up there. It was either 1 or 2 years after he had left, and I think he was a Fairmont when I was there.
Yeah, he probably was. And I said he got the best of both sides of it. He got to coach with Dwayne, which I was thrilled about. Just because of the type of person Dwayne is and his approach. He also worked for Coach Calhoun up at Fairmont, which was a little different,
Yeah, I know exactly right.
Just a little different, but he's in a good spot now. He's doing well and just got bumped up to the associate head coach, so he's doing good down where he's at. And he learned a lot from Dwayne, and Dwayne's a good friend of mine too. I talk to him pretty often, and I still haven't figured out why he went to Youngstown, but hey, that's his choice. Nothing to do with me.
I know I shouldn't say this. I called him up there the other day after that building blew up in Youngstown. I said, man,
that's the first thing we see.
The place is blowing up, man.
That's the first thing me and my brother talked about was, oh my gosh, the place is blowing up already.
No, Dwayne's a good guy. He's a good man. He's a good coach. Yeah.
Yep, he is. He's a great man, and he's just a fantastic basketball coach. He's been successful everywhere he's been, and I'm sure at some point we're going to see him on the sideline of a head coach of a Division I team somewhere. I don't think it's too far in the
they brought him in as associate head coach. So.
Yeah, it won't be long.
Yeah.
All right. Before we let you go.
All right, man. It's been good talking with you.
Hang on just a second. Hang on. We ain't let you go yet. We got a little segment on here we do. We call it Shoot to Three, of course, from basketball background. And what we do is we ask you every guest has to go through this. We ask you 3 rapid fire questions that don't have anything to do with anything we've talked about, probably nothing you've ever talked about. And you got 30 seconds to answer it. And if you don't answer it in 30 seconds, we come down to your house and make you cook us dinner. So here we go. First question. If they were going to write a movie about Alan Osborne's life, who's going to play the lead role as Alan Osborne?
Clint Eastwood.
All right. There you go. There you go. You can usually tell the age of people when, that's right down my alley right there. All right. If you could be a famous person for one day, what famous person would it be? Past, present, dead, live, doesn't matter.
Jesus.
There you go. Man, that's a good answer there. Yeah. All right. And the last one. You get to pick the way you go out. You're going to die, and it can't be by old age. How are you going to choose to go out?
Oh, you got to go by heart attack in your sleep.
Heart attack in your sleep. All right, good answer. All right, Coach, we appreciate it so much for you to come on and take some time with us. It's been an absolute thrill to get a chance to talk to you, and we look forward to seeing you down the road somewhere.
All right, but I appreciate you. Tell everybody up there hello, especially if you see him a call.
I will do that. I'll send him a message tonight. Thank you, folks, so much.
Thank you.
All right, Coach. Bye-bye. All right, the legend himself. Coach Alan Osborne, Poca, great guy, just a wonderful guy to be around. And I only got I don't know if it's fortune or misfortune, to play against him one time. And that's when I'm thinking he had the Cuffy, one of the Cuffy players when we played him. That was about 2007 probably.
Is that about the time he had Frampton too?
Might have been.
Didn't Frampton and Cuffy play together?
Yeah, I think so. I know they were loaded. We were pretty good, but we didn't have anything for them. I mean, they didn't destroy us, but they beat us plenty bad. Trust me. So, all right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We do have one audience caller on hold. We'll get that caller on here in just a moment. So I hope you'll stay with us here on the Courtside with Coach Crist show on the New River Network. Dave Gorby, Greg Crist. We'll return after these messages.
Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. See hard-hitting wrestling action from today's rising stars in independent wrestling. If you are a wrestling fan of any generation, let us introduce you to the hottest wrestling promotion in West Virginia. You can also join a live show at the Crossroads Mall. Retro Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network.
Welcome back to the Courtside with Coach Crist show. I'm Greg Crist. That's Dave Gorby. We appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Gorby, it was a lot of fun talking to Coach Osborne. I don't know if you know him personally or not, but what a wonderful guy he is. Fantastic basketball coach. He had some really good teams. He named off some of those players. My gosh, those are some of the best players in the state.
He had some studs, man. I mean, like when you got kids like that, might be easy to stay 44 years.
Yeah, it might not be too bad. You wouldn't have to worry about it. But yeah, he had some good players, some good teams, and just fun to talk to him. Hate to see him giving up, but I understand. I'm happy for him, and I know he'll be a good person to call up if you want to get some individual work with your kid. That'd be a good person to call up and ask. We got an audience caller on hold here. Let me see what's going on. I'll see if we can't reach him by phone. Left us in a bind here. I know he's on the phone with somebody else. He'll just have to hang up with somebody else.
Oh, well,
we had him on hold. We cut him off. So
push him to next week.
Yeah, I feel obligated. It's 3 ringy dingies.
Not good.
Goes the voicemail. We may have to shut him down.
Shut it down. Put a bow on it. That's what 3DP would say.
Your call has been...
Yep, that's it. All right, we're going to wrap it up here from the mystery hole tonight. We're sorry about that. We'll get our guest caller on next week. We'll have him in the fold waiting on us. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. Have a great night, everybody.